So it's almost double in size.
Because the Tarrant
But
County.
it's met all the needs and stipulations for, you guys from the water district and from the, government restrictions to make sure that we do not encroach on any boundaries. It was just necessary to kind of define the area so that we had an area that we could then, create the road that we were talking about before. So it meant just, so we could, not have such a vertical approach of the road. So, what I understand, according to the boundaries, we're still within all the regulations. We haven't encroached on anything. And I think, you guys have been integral in the process, so you've seen everything we've done and asked for, and that's how appraisal came about was from the final agreed boundaries.
I think the question would be, though, the appraisal that came back has 80% deducted because it's deemed unbuildable, essentially, and so the appraisal at $2,800 actually doesn't cover the cost of the security fence that we're going to have to put up. So I guess that would be my only concern. I'm more than happy with this being transferred, but, and I'm not necessarily, if it's appraised at $17,000, no, I don't necessarily think that that's fair on the other end, so I'm not trying to get anything out of it, but I would like to see if we did transfer this, since it's essentially only useful to you or us, I would at least like to see that our costs for that fence would be covered, would be my only concern.
That's already in place, I believe. It's still on the other side and would not be in play for either of us at that point, because there's no fencing that I understand that's gonna go from the street level on our side of the property, down to, then it would have to cross a road, which would then also cross our property. So I don't think there's actually a fence in here.
Yeah, there is. We'll have to put one up between your property and the plant all the way down to where it corners in that fence. That's gonna be.
Wouldn't that have had to be done regardless?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it no matter what.
Right, so even for that, I don't think we would have to incur something that would have to happen, whether things were left as is, or if this happened. It's not because this is happening that you have to put up a fence, it's because you just have to put up a fence.
Yeah, and I think the jury's out on whether or not that has to go up or not have to go up.
Right.
The issue is that.
Staff is shaking their heads at that, so there does need to be a fence.
Well, I've not seen anything in writing from anyone that stipulates that we do have a fence, first of all. It's at the bottom of the hill, not the top of the hill. So we need to see something that would require the fence to be at the top of the hill, which is only protecting the road, But anyway, regardless of that, the issue is that, as I understand, the previous homeowner built an accessory structure over onto our land. Is that one of the main problems or the issues that we're addressing?
Well, we have several surveys over several years that have that line moving probably 20 feet in direction. So, unfortunately, there has been over the years multiple surveys. There seems to be conflicts. What we're trying to do is the city of and us having any conflicts in the future, and that's where we came to y'all to try and get an amicable solution and pay for, and pay for the plant that we can all down the road not have any conflicts. So,
I understand that, and want to, but in a way, from the city's perspective, this is something was built on our land. That's the issue. I understand the secondary objective of yours is to have access to the bottom part of your property that would do this. But this is an extraordinarily large, and it's sort of an anchor. It's eating a bite out of our relatively square piece of property there. I don't know if it makes any sense.
it's filled with trash and rubble and is not being maintained.
Okay.
And so we're
Out of the hill. We've invited everyone to come out and walk it and certainly bring it very clean because you're going to need for traction. piece of land and we're not taking on more land, right? They're not making any more of it. So, and forever is a long time. I'm sure be used for. Well, I mean, bottom line is,
We've made stipulations on the other end, allowing the water plant to drain their water into our land. They run a pipe onto our land, we didn't know about, actually flowing water across, directly onto our property.
Doug Van Eyck did that.
And we're willing to look at that and allow that to happen, because that's what good neighbors do. Yes, it seems like a large piece of land, but it's a large piece of useless land.
at the moment, it seems appears to be useless, but we don't know what the future holds. But there's not that
I feel that from usually you can read that it's really, it is such an issue that geographically, there's no way, I mean, we're gonna pull off it.
Hold on a second, y'all. Mr. Full, for the clarification for the record, the city did not do any drainage work on your property down there. That was done by the previous owner and Mr. Doug Van Eyck.
We have a drain pipe, that 2 pipes that have in the last year been placed 5 years. Have been actually go through your fence line, it's a little pipe that crosses your fence line and drains into our drainage.
We still actually own property on the other side of the fence, and so that's all been a natural drainage way and everything in there prior to y'all owning the property. But as far as turning that ditch and doing all the drainage improvements there, that was done by Mr. Van Eyck before you bought the property.
Mr. Van Eyck has never owned this property, so.
He did the work for the people that were there, though, that's what he's saying.
Okay. He did it without them, without, anyway, that's a whole different discussion. Really, we're just trying to stick to the point of saying, I think that it's a fair proposal, it seems to be actually high, I think. I mean, $2,800 doesn't come easy to anybody in these times. We own our own business, the city of Fort Worth, and $800 for us right now is quite a bit of money. And we deal with, what it does to you and us, and it'll allow us to control, also able to control the people that are flowing down to that end. The city doesn't have any way to stop people from going on the other side of the fence and going down to the property and trust me. So we'd be able to control that and really probably be less competition for you down the road.
Mayor, I'm gonna, not to cut any council off, but I personally would prefer to be able to discuss this at some point in the executive session. I know Marvin has prepared that if we need it. I mean, I'm not saying it has to be tonight, but I've got some questions for the attorney to.
I got a question. Let me ask Marvin something. They probably ain't gonna live here. On this picture, there's a line of back of everybody's property. Is that where their property is?
No, their property goes to the river.
Goes to the river. So he's asking for this piece he's buying to go to the river too.
They're able to get to the river.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what's extra.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what's extra that he's asking for right there.
right there.
Yeah, we need to discuss that. I agree with Joe.
Well, we only went through this exercise because we had everybody on site at the same time with a paint can walking through and laying it out to what would be acceptable. So we spent almost $6,000 at this point, of money, really following the lead of Marvin and those guys to lay out what they said was acceptable, and then it's that. So just pull it out of the air and say, this is what we want. So there were both the meetings of having people and walking the property and at the time, we all knew we were on the same page all the way through this process.
And I've heard, just speaking for me, myself, this is Joe Ashton. I appreciate that, so I'm not trying to cause any problems. There's just, this is public property and we have